Hey everybody, Zelos Talon here, and I'm doing part 8 of the Skylanders review, Skylanders Spyro's Adventure review. This is the magic element. I know it's been a massive delay. I'm sorry for the delay. Life just kind of chooses inopportune moments to take a crap on you, but I finally have the time to do this. So, getting started here. As usual, we're going to start with the dragon, Spyro, the titular character of the game, and the magic dragon. He comes with the starter pack, along with Gil Grunt and Trigger Happy, or the console starter pack. If you get the 3DS starter pack, you get the Dark Spyro variant. So, Spyro's really, really well colored. It looks like paint on his body, but it's really just kind of this somewhat almost metallic purple plastic. And then he's got nice metallic bronze or, copper colored paint for the wings, the spines, the tail, the horns. And then, I do like how the wing bone, the little finger bits, or what's adapted finger bones. The wing bones are picked out as purple, kind of, and then his belly's copper too. He's got white and red for his eyes, and then black pupils. I really wish they had painted his claws. Just gonna get that out of the way. I wish his claws were painted and that he'd had a wash done on him. The tone of the plastic does kind of help to bring out the scale detail, but it would have helped to have just a light coat of, a black wash or a gray, like to help bring it out some. And I still cannot get over his head. Granted, Skylanders is not really intended as part of the Spyro franchise. Spyro was basically just thrown into the game to give it some immediate street cred and help boost sales, give it some brand recognition. But even as a reinvention of Spyro, this head just looks so weird. It doesn't look nearly as weird in game, but it's just like it's baby-like with how snub and bulbous it is, and I just can't really get around it. He also doesn't really invoke magic. The interpretation of magic in this game is basically like arcane, non-elemental magic, just, force and mysticism kind of thing. And Spyro primarily uses fire, and his attacks in game are fire based for the most part. So he doesn't really communicate in magic as well as I would like, or at least not arcane magic. And he is on the standard magic base. All magic characters have the same base in the first game. So with just this design with all the little triangles and runes on it. Wrecking Ball is easily my least favorite Skylander. I get what they were going for when you read his bio. But when you look at this character, there is nothing about this that says that he is any bit fucking magical. He's supposed to be a grub worm that drank magic soup and was transformed into a giant grub worm. Whatever, he's just retardedly adorable. Like, he's not happy-go-lucky, funny, cute like Trigger Happy. He's just stupid. He's got this little pig-like nose and these big green eyes and this giant cartoonishly gaping mouth. Like, what are you smiling at? I do like the little spikes, and I like the two-tone of blue. The blue on him is actually really nice. He's really well colored. I even like the little red for the waddle almost, or the crest, but I mean, his colors are great. It's just his design is just stupid, and he's so ineffective in game. He's just kind of terrible. He's like the Pikachu almost of this, where he has enough cuteness to where he could almost be the mascot, were it not for Spyro or later on Jetvac. But he's just like, it's like once you actually play as him, you're like, oh God, why? Contrast that with Voodooed. Voodooed is an absolute monster. I love this guy. He's got his big ol' axe and his helmet thing. He's an orc shaman, apparently, or like a kind of like a warrior. He's kind of like a battle mage because he's just, you know, he goes in, closes with the melee, and then he also has some magic power to back it up. You can go down one of his paths and he can do an electrical jolt and damage enemies who damage him. You can use the axe as like a grapple line to close distance with enemies. I do just like him. He's a very original, even, you know, I mean, orcs are present in many RPGs, even though Skylanders is a very light RPG, but orcs are not known for magic, so in that regard alone, he's a rather original character. But he suffers the same problem as Spyro and Wrecking Ball, where there's not really a whole lot about this guy at a glance that communicates that he's magic. His axe kind of has some embellishments going on that could almost say it's a staff. Mine's bent a little bit. You know, it has some of those like ancient looking embellishments to make it look almost decorative, so it could almost pass and double as a staff. And, you know, he's got the kind of the headgear on, kind of reminds me of the Ewok shaman from Return of the Jedi. So you got that aesthetic going on. Then he's just got garb that's kind of nondescript, other than it's brown and more brown. So again, not really doing so hot on communicating magic, but a very fun character to play as nonetheless. I do really like Voodooed. Double Trouble is possibly my favorite character for the element. I like Voodooed's playstyle a little bit better. He's a little more direct, works better for me, but this is the guy that says magic. This is the defining character of the element, in my opinion, because you can tell looking at this guy that there's some freaky mysticism, arcane stuff going on. He's got a tiki mask for a face. Yes, this is his actual face, with just brilliant wood colors going on and eyes. He's got this weird unnatural blue skin and this very strange looking shamanistic staff that looks kind of almost natural. It's like talons and a rough hewn stick and just this orb of arcane energy going on. And then he floats, of all things. He doesn't walk, he floats. And then he summons exploding clones and has this arcane magic beam and summons these area of effect defensive magic bombs. Double Trouble is just awesome. He's an absolute beast in game, and more than any of the others, he communicates his element effectively. You can't really define this guy as anything but some sort of strange ancient magic, which all of the other characters are just kind of like there. It's, to me, I praise Double Trouble and then I'm going to zoom out. To me, magic kind of turned into what normal is for Pokemon, in that it is the catch-all type. It is the type where all the leftovers went to. They were like, well, we couldn't make these fire or plant or water or undead, so they're just going to be magic. It's just going to be that thing to oppose tech. And there's some interesting designs going on, but it lacks the cohesion of the other elements, and that's kind of my problem with it. Pop Fizz and Ningini in the Giants line kind of help to rectify this, but as far as Spyro's Adventure goes, it's just kind of a mishmash, and it ends up being my least favorite element as a result, especially since only two of the characters are good and the other two are crap. Good crap. So with that being said, I mean, I do recommend picking them up to fill out your collection. You can't avoid Spyro, and Voodooed and Double Trouble are worth it just because they're awesome. Might as well get Wrecking Ball. So this has been Zealous Talon with the Spyro's Adventure Magic characters. Please stay tuned for more. Only 2 videos left. For this, anyway.